These are the books I'm going to be hunting for in 2024. Let's go. Hello Comic Army, my name is Chris the Comic Vet. Hope this video finds you safe and well. Well, I've noticed some YouTube channels have posted videos about books that they're going to be trying to find in 2024. I've never really ever done that. Just because after I completed my Amazing Spider-Man run 1 through 50, I kind of decided I don't need lists anymore. I'm just going to kind of pick up stuff that I like here and there whenever I see it and try and haggle out a good deal. Well, I've decided with 2024, maybe I should refer back to a list. Try and get things back under control as opposed to picking off books here and there. And let's start this top 10 list right here. The first book I'm going to be hunting, and hopefully I can find it in a CGC 9.8, is Transformers number 5. Now this classic cover, probably the best Transformers cover ever done for that Marvel run, is a book that I've noticed since I was a small child. Now I can remember going to school and one of my classmates having this comic book and me being just mind blown about the cover. Like, who is this robot? What does "are all dead" mean? And like, who is the artist? Like, this is incredible. And I still feel that way about the cover artwork, that it is truly incredible, especially for that timeline. So I've come to realize also that Shockwave was the leader of the Decepticons back in Cybertron, and you know, him and Megatron in later issues end up having a big fight or whatever. But this book has always been one that's been on my radar. I just haven't had the funds at the time when I actually saw a good deal in place. So Transformers number 5 is one that I'm definitely interested in for 2024. Next up is Crisis on Infinite Earths, issue number 7. Now I can remember this book again as a small boy at school and like being mind blown. Like, did they really just kill Supergirl? Like, is this cover for real? Because you can never trust a comic book cover, especially in the 80s. And I was just mind blown that they did this. And again, this is a timeless cover, and it's definitely one I'm going to be trying to pick up in 2024 in a 9.8. In the 8th spot is an entire run. Now, with 5 of these already under my belt, I'm working on DC vs. Vampires, all the cover A's, in a 9.8. Yes. You're probably wondering, DC vs. Vampires? Yeah, if you haven't read DC vs. Vampires, you are missing out on a whole world of Elseworlds fun. It is just a terrific comic book where a bunch of vampires infect superheroes and it just goes haywire, off the tracks. James Tynion IV and Matthew Rosenberg had a whole lot of fun doing this. In fact, I believe they're actually coming up with the 2nd volume for later this year, and I'm trying to knock off, like I said, the entire 12 issues in just those cover A's though, because there are multitude of variants. Just those cover A's, all in the CGC 9.8. Like I said, 5 are already checked off that list. Okay, coming in at the 7th spot is the first book where any grade will be sufficient enough. And this is Swamp Thing issue number 1. So yeah, this again, classic cover, is one that I want to have. Now I am a massive Swamp Thing fan, especially from the early 80s right on through to Ron V's latest series the last few years. Swamp Thing has been a book and a character that's been very close to my heart ever since I picked up a comic book. Now there's no way at this point I'm able to afford even a super low grade copy of his first appearance. However, Swamp Thing number 1 will look great in my PC in any grade. And let's be honest, low grade is better than no grade. So Swamp Thing number 1 is another book that I have targeted for 2024. Number 6 is The Amazing Spider-Man 300. Now this is again a case of low grade will be better than no grade because those high grades are going for a lot of money. But from doing a little bit of research, you can get anything from a 3.0 to a 6.0 for a couple $100. And I'm hoping that's going to be the case. Now, we have another Venom movie coming out very soon, so I'm kind of thinking this book is going to kind of peak back up a little bit. We'll see. We'll actually see on how that movie actually does. But again, Amazing Spider-Man 300, again, this classic and timeless cover done by Todd McFarlane, is one that I need to have back into my collection permanently. Again, any grade will be sufficient for this milestone Marvel comic book. Next on the list is Batman 428. Now, I'm going to be trying to get this book also in a CGC 9.8. This is a book that's very close to my heart and is one of the first full storylines as a young teenager that I actually read from start to finish. And it's one that I was really interested in and actually hoped for the positive to actually happen in this arc. And as we all know, that didn't necessarily work out well. But here we are. Now, I still have my original copy, and there's no way that it would qualify as a 9.8 because, hey, it's a dark cover, and I read that book probably 5 or 6 times over. But here we are. I'd love to have this book again in a CGC 9.8. Next on the list is Avengers JLA issue number 4. I'm going to be hunting this cover in a 9.8 simply because it has the Man of Steel holding Captain America's shield and Mjolnir. This rare crossover event from Marvel and DC features the Man of Steel in a desperate hour, the last man standing, holding everything he can to take down the big villain of this major crossover event. Actually, I suggest that you read this crossover event. It is some of the best work that George Perez did, I feel, in the last 25 years. The next one on my list is The Return of the Amazing Spider-Man. Actually, it's going to be the last Amazing Spider-Man of its run. The book I want at a 9.8 is just a normal cover A of The Amazing Spider-Man issue 700. Now, this controversial book features the death of Peter Parker, with eventually Dr. Octopus becoming the new Spider-Man. However, this incredible cover speaks for itself. I really love when Marvel does the out-of-the-box type of cover, and this is definitely one that I like, and it's going to fit well into my family home. As you can see, the dark around the eyelid features Venom. I thought that was pretty smart for this creative team that worked on this book all together. Now, there are lots of variant covers for issue 700, but in this case, the normal cover A is good enough for me. I'm hoping that I can actually find this for a real good deal. The second last book on my list is the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul. I'm looking for Batman 232 in any grade, because really low grade will be better than no grade, especially when it comes to Ra's al Ghul. Now, I often say on my channel and other people's channels that my favorite DC villain is Amanda Waller, which is true. But when it comes to the history of Batman, it's Ra's al Ghul, not the Joker, that I respect the most. Everything Ra's al Ghul has done since his first introduction into DC Comics, including his family lineage and the whole Shadow of Assassins collection, that's the reason why I need to have Batman 232 and this classic cover in my PC. And I kind of gotta admit, I'm a little surprised I don't already have it in my collection, as I've been a Ra's al Ghul fan for a number of years now. Now, the last book on my list is actually a third printing. The book I'm looking for in his CGC 9.8 is Something Is Killing the Children, issue number 1. Now, I do own a couple different issue number 1s, the Jenny Frison and the normal cover A, but this third printing, which is the reflection cover, is the one that I really want to have on my list. Now, I'm not too sure about the print number of the third printing, but it won't matter. This is a book that I feel I should be able to get somewhat affordable right now, as Something Is Killing the Children is kind of quiet, and there is no news on the Netflix front when it comes to the series being developed for television. So again, this third printing with the reflection cover is the one that I'm going to be hunting in 2024, probably the most. So there you have it, Comic Army. This is my top 10 list of comics I'm going to be hunting in 2024. Please make sure that you hit that like button. Please make sure you're subscribed. Go ahead and leave a comment. If you have one of these books and it's something you want to try and move on from or trade with me, let me know. I'm all ears. Till we see you again, take care.
Channel memberships are now live. $4.99 monthly gives you the opportunity to win the Comic Army monthly prize pack, early access to videos, custom emojis for live streams and videos. Your Comic Army rank will be displayed beside your name for length of service. You get the ability to join the exclusive Instagram chat room for members and member shoutouts and spotlights. Join the Comic Army today.